Good evening, everyone. It is Mike Etch here, starting off the Straight Out of This Week podcast. And as usual, we have the rest of the Chill Tech crew here. Let's start with introductions, or introductions really aren't needed, but we're going to go with our roundtable here. We're going to start with Greg today. What's up, Greg? How you doing today?
What's going on, guys? I'm doing all right.
Greg, it sounds
They're
like
looking
you're
for you,
living in a
Greg.
rough neighborhood. If that was you,
That wasn't me.
like, what'd you do?
They're
Greg?
looking for you.
No,
That was me.
Christian. Well, what a way to introduce yourself. What did you
There we
do?
go.
Why are the cops bust down your door right now?
You know what? I'm in Baltimore, so that's what happens in Baltimore. That's all I can say.
You see, that downloading, man, the turning stuff is no good.
Well, now you guys got a little glimpse of where we're all at. We're all across on the East Coast. So as you can see, Christian's in Baltimore. I'm in the Washington, D.C. area. Greg, are you also in Baltimore?
Yep.
Oh, well, there we go. And, of course, Javon is
In the high
Compton.
suburbs.
All right, and moving on. All right, Javon, go ahead. Give us your little introduction for this week, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling sick, guys, but I'm good. I'm feeling much better than I have all week. So let's get into this. Yeah.
Well, we definitely here at Chill Tech hope you definitely get better, man.
Thank you.
Well, let's start off. Before we get into the news, I want everybody to know that today is National Best Friend Day. Did everybody know that?
Yay!
Everybody say hi to your best friends if they're watching. Unfortunately, my best friend now works here, so
as young
we're moving on.
everyone said, that's my best friend. That's my best
Yeah,
friend.
this is why I needed the music. This is why we needed the music for that. Like, that would have been awesome to have the music play right as we started. All right.
Right.
You guys ready to get to the news?
Yep.
Let's
Yeah.
get it.
All right. So our first bit of news from the tech world is that the Moto Z is launching June 9th. What are you guys' thoughts on this? Anybody looking forward to the new Moto Z?
I'm always interested to see what the new phones have. But based on what we see from leaks, I mean, it looks like the same powerhouse as every phone has been so far up to this year. I'm interested in some of their modular stuff. They're saying like there's the ability to have like the cameras and things like that. So I'm kind of excited to see what they have to bring. But I might not buy a Moto X this year, but it's kind of excited to see.
Yeah, I picked up the Moto X last year, the Pure Edition, so
Mhm.
I found it to be a little bit interesting. Not one of my favorite phones, but I'm not picking it up this year. I got the Robin. I'm happy with it. I'll be sticking with that. Christian, Greg, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, my plan is to get whatever the Nexus is coming this fall. So I'm going to jump the iPhone ship and jump into the Android world. So looking at, I mean, the specs look pretty decent. Nothing too outstanding. The price $450. That's the range that they were looking at for kind of a flagship phone. So beyond that, it's kind of what Motorola does. Solid phone. If you like Motorola and you need a new phone, I would say it looks like a solid buy for sure.
Definitely. Greg?
I'm not really big on Motorola, but I'll give it a shot and see what it does when it comes out.
Nice.
So you are
See,
going to pick it
now,
up?
No, I'm gonna look at it. I'm just gonna look at it. I'm like, okay, all right, looks pretty cool. Next up.
You can do that now.
So he's literally going to walk into his carrier's. He's literally going to walk into his carrier store, pick up the display model, and be like, "That's cool." Put it down and be like, "All right,
Dude,
I saw."
who goes into stores anymore, man? That's what the internet's for.
yeah.
You gotta feel
Now
it.
he's just going to read. He's going to go on IGN, read the review, and be like, "Pretty cool."
Well, who knows, man? I mean, if Lenovo can send us one,
Or
I'll have it reviewed.
I'd watch the Chill Tech review and decide from there.
Nice. I like that. I like
See what he
that.
did there. See what he did
Shameless self-promotion,
Mm.
and that is why
Right.
we hired you. And moving on.
Actually, before
The
we move on,
OnePlus
I
3.
do want to say on the Moto X, this is actually a kind of a big year for Motorola because this year, I know the acquisition for Motorola and Lenovo is actually complete. So we're going to see a more Lenovo inspired phone. So this could be interesting. Could be very interesting.
All
From
right.
if you like Lenovo Chinese phones. So.
For sure.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my government job disallows me to buy things of that nature. So, we're
Racist.
moving on to the OnePlus. We're moving on to the OnePlus 3 that will be launching on the 14th. I believe that is this month, the 14th of this month. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Anybody want to play around with that? We might be able to get it here for Chill Tech for a review, so that should be interesting. What are your guys'
Yeah.
thoughts on the OnePlus 3?
Yes, go. Anyway. Whoa. Not all at once, guys. Jeez.
I'm waiting for you.
Jesus.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
honestly,
wait, did we just have a quiet spot?
no, honestly, though, I'm actually planning on picking up the OnePlus 3, probably as a backup phone or something like that. Because what I've seen, now, first of all, everyone knows if you started this channel with us, you know from the beginning, I had the OnePlus 1, the OnePlus 2, and my hate for OnePlus started to increase by every passing day because updates were no longer delivered as fast as promised, like a Nexus would. Their stock Android feel started to get more and more cluttered, but for some reason they're looking to take a step back and do things right. There's no more invite system this year, which is going to be crazy, and we're actually be covering this event live. So this will be cool for us next Thursday to see kind of what they do. But I am planning on picking up a phone. I mean, the price point alone is probably the biggest thing that would get someone who's looking for an unlocked phone with all the latest, greatest specs and a great design. This is probably one of the best packages you're going to find it in. 6 gigabytes and 128 gigs storage and blasey. It's been pretty cool.
All right. Anybody else have thoughts on the OnePlus 3?
Yeah, I was looking at the specs here. They have a 4 gig and a 6 gig RAM version. Now, what do you guys think about this 6 gigs of RAM? Is that necessary for a phone, or is that just here to
VR.
add hype?
VR, yep.
Yep, VR, man.
Yeah,
so this
definitely.
is going to be that Daydream certified.
Daydream compatible.
Yeah.
Hopefully, right? Because so far we've heard Google said not many phones are going to actually have that spec that's already out or even coming out soon. So hopefully this 6 gigs of RAM will be enough with the current processor to handle Daydream.
Makes sense.
All right. Greg, any thoughts?
Not particularly. Just gonna wait and see what it does.
Greg's not the phone guy.
Greg is
Clearly.
not the phone guy. I'm trying to bring him into it. He's just like, I'm good.
Look, I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm still
I'm all
rocking the
good.
Galaxy S4, and it's been fine. So I'm good.
Javon, you okay this guy to come into Chill Tech?
Wait.
This
Did
one's
he
on
say the
you.
S4?
Yeah,
Right?
the S4.
The S4.
I still
We
have that.
didn't.
Javon okayed this guy to come into Chill Tech, so this is all on Javon.
And he said it's just fine.
Yeah. Look, I have my issues with it, but until I have another one, it works.
Right, but can it run Hearthstone though? That's the key.
Look, all right, that's not part of the topic right now.
All right.
Hearthstone compatible.
Moving on, Christian, this should be a news that you'll care about for at least until you buy a Google phone.
Right.
The Apple App Store 2.0 will be releasing. And the original App Store definitely changed the way that we all buy software. What do you think about 2.0? What do you think the new additions could be? What could it change the whole way we buy apps all over again?
You know, what they're trying to do is really push more subscriptions for apps. So what Apple is going to do is, right now they have that 30% split that they take off of all the in-app purchases and all the subscriptions. What they're going to do is, if the subscription goes over a year, for that second year, they're going to drop their percentage down to 15%. So they're really trying to push developers to develop something that's going to have some longevity to it, not just someone buy it once and then that kind of one-time income. Because for developers, I know it's very important to have kind of a sustained income to support their development. If you sell it once and everybody buys it, and you don't sell anymore, then all of a sudden people aren't getting paid. You can start laying off people. So it's very important to have this kind of subscription-based model. Is it going to work? We'll see. I mean, Apple has the clout to kind of help push some of these things out, especially as far as the App Store is concerned. and paid apps for sure. Because Apple users tend to purchase and spend more money at a higher rate than do the Android users. That's just kind of how the stores operate. Android tends to be more based upon kind of the free trials or kind of the free to play, but then you get in and you purchase little bits here and there. But Apple tends to be more upfront with the cost of things. So we'll see. Again, it doesn't seem all that revolutionary, but it is interesting that they've kind of put this out there so far.
All right, that is interesting to know. And what about you, Javon? You got any thoughts?
If they do this, this will be like the worst thing to do, I think, in mobile history when it comes to the end user. For developers, like Christian said, yes, sustainable income is always better. Who would rather have $10 up front or $2 every year? You know what I'm saying? Like, that does make a lot of sense. But when you consider the fact of how app life cycles are, outside of investments, things like Netflix and stuff like that, how many more subscriptions do we need to have, in our daily lives? I know I have probably like 10 subscriptions that I'm constantly paying. Some are yearly, some are monthly. But knowing Apple's, premium strategy, this is not going to be a cost-efficient, option. This is definitely going to be probably a premium package. I do think they'll probably keep their normal app package, but they may throw in like $100 a year or like $20 a month or something of the sort. You can like kind of get a whole bunch of apps for like for a month for a cost. This would be really bad because if Google adopt this, if any other Microsoft, PlayStation, any of these other marketplaces adopt this, this is also going to deter lower developers, any developers who don't have that kind of money to put to make apps and get a lower cut up front, and because apps, I don't know about you guys, but there was a piece Google came out with yesterday where it showed how many apps you've installed or pictures you've used over like the course of like a year. And since my lifetime of owning a phone, I've only installed 1,127 apps. And currently on my phone, I probably have like 40 apps on there. So what does that say about apps and our daily usage? Now I have a 120 gigabyte phone, so I know for some people it could be limited to storage. But most people just change apps all the time. So why would you want to spend X amount of dollars for an app continuously? It's stupid.
Yeah, I hear you. I wonder, though, if we've been a little bit spoiled, or I guess we've kind of devalued mobile apps in a way, because we'll spend $50 for a PC game or for a piece of software, or we'll spend $100 a year for Office, or whatever it is. Like we'll pay for I guess a desktop class or laptop software. But when it comes to mobile devices, we've gotten so used to getting things for free that we just don't want to spend even $1. Like even $1 is like, do I want to spend $1 on this app? And, you know what I mean? But when you think about it, I'm like, people spend time and effort, and people gotta get paid, and so I think after in a while we're gonna have a reckoning of sorts where we're gonna have to start paying for what we use, and that's just how I look at it.
And I think that's a good point. The problem is that you look at mobile operating apps right now, and the big difference is the complexity of the app. That's why can't we make really good video editing softwares on mobile apps? Because it's a mobile platform. It doesn't have usually the power that go behind it, so the money doesn't usually cost to reflect that kind of power. When you look at like Office, for example, a serious productivity suite, yes, people are still cracking Office, but you can pay discounts for like $100, and 3 devices that I own can have Office. It's a powerful application, but there's alternatives. Like Google Docs is free, and it's a very powerful system. There's, Open Office and LibreOffice, and those other things. The problem with Apple is they are trendsetters, and if they start a trend that's not in the best interest for the end user, because be honest with you, it's not really good interest really for the developers, because the fine lines between this is that you have to sell your apps good for the first year. If they don't sell those apps good those first year, what happens if a game is like, what was that one game, Flappy Birds, and it was only cool for like 3 months, Yeah, it's a great game. No, but now you're taking a big loss because you made an app that's not that great. So Apple's gonna either raise the price up or you're not gonna get that deducted later on. It kind of sucks. It's a hard thing because we want mobile to take over eventually. But it's just a really tough spot right now.
All right, Greg, you have anything to share?
I'm basically just echoing Christian and Jovan here. We got to see how it impacts. No, seriously, we have to see how it impacts the end users because it's definitely more beneficial for the devs. I mean, they stand to make a decent chunk off of this if it does well. And if it does well, other major markets might also see this change. So ultimately, we have to see how it affects the end user.
All right, sounds good. It seems like everybody seems to be on the same page here tonight. All right, we're going to move on to our next bit of news, something that we can all get a little bit excited for. The Radeon, forgive me if I'm butchering the name of this, so I apologize. I'm looking at my notes here. The Radeon RX 480 is set to drive premium VR experiences into hands of millions of consumers. I hear it's going to be priced. The price is starting at $199. And what the Radeon RX 480 is basically a new architecture-based graphics processor, right? Polaris architecture-based graphics processor. My God, I'm messing up tonight. But it's going to be starting at $199. So I mean, that seems pretty affordable to me. What about you guys? What are you guys thinking about? Would any of you guys pick this up? I mean, knowing that you guys are the real gamers on this show, this might be like small, but this might be small things to you. So this ain't nothing to you guys. What do you guys think?
It's definitely interesting. I
Okay.
really hope it does well. That's all I got for that one.
Greg, your default answer tonight has been, "It looks interesting.
Look,
yes.
I can't wait to cut when it comes out. I'll check it out." Like,
I want to give it a shot, man.
give everything a fair shot. I'm in agreement with you. Anybody else want to share?
Yeah, it looks good, especially if you're kind of on the budget end of the PC gaming. $200 is, I guess, the higher end of a budget card. But it's between this and the new NVIDIA cards, they're kind of making everything currently out just obsolete, just altogether. Like, there's no point even buying anything that's not really coming out this year, just with the prices dropping and the power increase at the same time.
Yeah.
And again, this is going to bring VR down to the budget PC gamer. It's got 4 gigs of RAM just standard, which is huge for VR, and also for games like StarCraft or Rome Total War, those things that have a lot of items on the screen at the same time, and all of these textures and things. Those really need all that RAM, and 4 gigs is becoming kind of the standard minimum going forward. So this is going to be a really good card to push people that maybe have been waiting a while or looking to build now on a budget basis for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. AMD is, they've been killing it lately. When it comes to this budget mindset. But the problem with this is that even though this card is better than the current 970, that NVIDIA's current most sold card, the problem is that it's only $150 or $170 less than the 1070. And for someone who's really budget conscious, they may even say, hey, $170 more gets me a card essentially double the performance of this one $200 card. Not knocking this $200 card, because this is a very powerful card. I mean, current hardware, for everyone who had anything as last year, this is probably better than some people's high-end graphics card from last year. But I just feel like the pricing for these graphics cards are getting so low. We're almost looking like the same smartphone issues we had for a couple years ago, when everything mid-range is like high-end, So if you're someone who has maybe $300 to spend on a graphics card, you may put the next 70 on credit because you may want to get a 1070 over an RX 480. But if you have to get a good graphics card and the money is super tight, you won't be bad getting a 480. And the thing is, though, is that the technology behind it, it's kind of a mix of old and new technology. There's some older stuff from like the older, the RX, the 390X A lot of that that 14 nanometer processing and stuff like that, that's still in that chip. But that's some serious power still even from the old times before. And the fact that it's still relatively less power consuming than other models from AMD released. It's a really tough. If you're a gamer right now on PC, which you should be, it's a really tough place to be at if you have $300 or $400. You're like, where do I spend my money? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough decision. Now, I would say if you're looking to purchase, know what your budget is, and then stick with that. Otherwise, you'll be spinning your wheels trying to figure out, comparing what you want to buy. But I will tell you that I was looking at some specs, and the price per frame rate, essentially the 1070 is basically the best value.
Yeah,
so if you're looking at getting the most bang for your buck and great performance, you can't beat the 1070. If you're looking for good performance at $200, then this is where you want to be.
And then if you're looking just for the best performance all around, you get the 1080.
1080,
right?
Yeah.
That's But then again, right? Remember when $500 was like somewhat a budget card? Remember that a couple years ago? Right. So it's just crazy to see where we've gone. It's crazy.
Yeah, that it is. So since I'll be building a PC later on this year, I guess I can count on you guys to guide me around on what I need to buy and what's the right way to go. And it looks like the RX 480 is not what I'll be purchasing, huh?
I mean, and that's the thing, right? If it's in the budget, it's not a bad card,
Sounds like
when every card can play most games at 60 frames per second. What's a bad card nowadays? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's the problem.
Yeah.
Every card can play your games really well. It's like I don't know.
All right, that's really all you can ask for. All right, moving on thanks for our nice segue into the graphics card. It segues into our next segment, which is, wow, that was a weird thing to say, but we are moving on to gaming news. And the first item we have in gaming news tonight is that there will be a PS 4.5. Rumored for a while now, no one really believed it, but that seems to have been confirmed. And the PS 4.5 just seems like a bigger upgrade to the already issued PS4. It has tons of graphic updates, a lot of updates to it, and this seems like the updates are definitely updating the graphics to the point where it could actually compete with like the HTC. Well, it'll allow support for VR, and it could compete with the HTC Vive and the Oculus Rift, which is very interesting to me now because me and Javon have always talked about getting a PS4 specifically just for the VR headset because we thought it would be cheaper than purchasing the HTC Vive. We all know where that went. So, what are you guys' thoughts on the PS 4.5? You guys know about the specs or what's going on? What are you looking at? Are you interested? What are you thinking?
Well, it definitely increases the specs. It upgrades the GPU, I believe, and they're saying it's supposed to be able to do 4K gaming, which is awesome. And the VR stuff, in theory, it looks great. We just have to see how it performs. Yeah, I said it again. Let's see what happens.
We're going to get a T-shirt made with your face, and it's going to say, let's see where this goes.
Yes.
I'm going to get a mug.
All right. So another cool thing about this is it doesn't seem like if you want to keep the PS4 and not upgrade to the PS 4.5, which starts at $399 supposedly. If you don't want to upgrade, you're not going to miss out on any games. But unfortunately, now it seems like Sony will be making 2 games for each port now, which is really weird to me and seems like what a waste of money. What are you guys thinking about that?
All right, that's craziness.
Seems weird.
It's definitely weird. The problem is that if you're a developer, you have to build 2 games essentially. You know what I'm saying? Like, or do you just build a game at really great settings and like for all its power, and you just scale down for the PS4? I don't understand how this will work. Like, do you build 2 games based on the 2 architectures, or is it the same architecture with just better specs, and you just bump it down in performance? I don't know.
Yeah, it appears to be the same architecture, but it's interesting that we've never really seen this before as far as consoles go. Like whenever they do a refresh, they basically make it smaller and look different, but they don't really change how it functions. And so now even Microsoft has been rumored to kind of do the exact same thing as having a new version of the Xbox One, and that just makes it more almost like we're going to be doing it like we have phones now. Every other year or every year we just get the new console when, sell the old one on eBay and keep it moving. But yeah, for developers, it should be interesting. Hopefully, if they keep the architecture the same, they can just have it downscale depending upon what version of the console you're running. But it's becoming more and more PC-like, which I think we anticipated. So we'll see if someday we just have a gaming machine that plays PC or Xbox or whatever the game is. But it's definitely interesting for sure.
So what do you guys think? Like, we all know that this isn't new. Gaming consoles do this constantly. I mean, the PS3 did it with the PS3 Slim, just like Christian just said. They never upgraded the specs. So what do you think of the advantages to getting like a newer system, or would you rather just keep the PS4 and wait for a next-gen console? Would you actually make this type of upgrade? Would you trade this in and get the PS 4.5, or would you just wait since you're going to get the games anyway? I mean, not all the games considering. I mean, of course, they'll make special games for PS 4.5. But what would you guys do in a situation like that?
Well, I'll say this: PlayStation and Xbox recently are very fond of making remasters. So I won't be surprised at all if they just remaster every single game that came out this last year for 4.5. Just so it can run 4K. But I'm looking at the comment section here, and first of all, I'm gonna give a shout out to the YoList84 who's watching the stream. Thanks for watching. But Keon from TechX said that he's not upgrading the 4 to the 4.5. He doesn't think it's necessary to upgrade because some developers won't even make 4K versions of their game. We have seen developers struggle currently making games able to run 60 frames per second at 1080p. So maybe 4K is asking a lot for these developers. I'm not sure. But I will say that hardware-wise, the PlayStation 4.5, if it is to be this like groundbreaking, revolutionary system, I do think very possibly that this could be something that they go back on their word, they phase out the PlayStation 4 and be like, hey, we messed up. This is the one you need to buy. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are going 4K gaming now on PC gamers. PC gamers are still the majority of gamers we have out there. So this is PC gaming at a budget. You know what I'm saying? This is a great way for a lot of people to get into 4K gaming without having to build a PC or buy a PC. I don't know.
Yeah, I do wonder, Jovan, though, about 4K gaming. For a PC, you get a 4K monitor. How many people really have a 4K television? I mean, the prices are coming down. I've seen quite a few that are getting pretty cheap, for sure. So we may see these things kind of converge pretty soon. But right now, 4K televisions isn't all that popular, and 4K content in general is still, growing. I know Netflix is trying to do 4Ks, a few things here and there, and the Shield TV has 4K. Roku now is pushing out 4K. So there's other 4K things out there, but as far as the devices to actually display that, you're not seeing that a whole lot anymore as far as the consumers are concerned.
I mean, so would you say that the PlayStation 4 is just the 4.5 would just be the enthusiast system? Like someone who wants or has the luxury of having
Definitely.
4K?
For now.
Okay.
For now.
Because remember when the PS4 was originally announced, they were very confident that that system was going to be a staying power for the next, 10 years from there? So the fact that they've unveiled the 4.5 or they're going to announce it or whatever, it's a gamble on their part. Because if it does well, the PS4 is basically going to stay for people who've already owned it, or they're going to drop the price so that could be a better entry point for people who don't have it yet. So
I guess the big question is now: is Microsoft going to make one?
I'm sure.
I'm sure they will. They're going to have they're competitors, and we all know this. They're going to come up with something else. Will I buy it? No. I'm just going to wait for the next gen console. I'd rather wait. I don't see the point in buying. As nice as it is, I could just play on PC. I I can play on PC if I really want really great graphics. Sorry if there are console players out there that feel differently. I've always felt that Javon actually is the one that introduced me to PC gaming, and I know firsthand if you want graphics, you go to PC. That's just how you do it.
Yeah.
But I've always found console just it's fun. I like consoles. I have an Xbox One. I like playing it. But if I want graphics, I'll play on PC.
And it looks like a lot of our our subscribers, they definitely feel the same way. The Yolius84, he says he agrees, and he says 4K is good if you have a device.
Excuse me, Javon, I think that's Yo Lizzle's 84.
Yo Lizzle's 84?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yo Lizzle's sorry.
She's pretty cool.
Yo Lizzle's. That is actually a fun name.
Yeah.
I like Yo Lizzle's. Whoever you are, man, you're pretty cool. You're cool in my eyes.
My wife.
Oh!
You're not that cool.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, she says 4K is good if you have a device that can display it. Otherwise you're begging for systems to be cool. And I guess that's the one thing that we're now at this age now where, fans, CPU fans, you look at the MacBooks, they're fanless. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess that now is the best time as ever to be a gamer. When you look at the console side, you look at the PC side. There's just so much. The technology is awesome right now.
All right. Well, let's move on. We got some gaming news we really got to run through. Let's talk about some things that were released today. Some big trailers, some big game reveals. Let's get into what's been trending right now in the gaming verse. We have Dead by Daylight. Me and Javon saw a stream of this on Sunday, I believe. We sent it out to Greg and Christian, so now they're on board with it, it seems like. We've all been, mixed matches and getting beta codes and having no one save us. So we haven't really been able... The only one here that has actually been able to play the game successfully, he's gotten saved, he's been in the beta, and he's been playing as the killer, correct? In Dead by Daylight. So, yes. Greg, tell us about Dead by Daylight. What's this game, man? What is it to you?
All right, so Dead by Daylight is essentially a horror movie fanatic's favorite game, ultimately. It's an asymmetrical survival horror game where you have one person playing the killer and you have 4 other players as survivors. And as the killer, your main objectives are to, A, kill everyone by sacrificing them on the hooks and hunting them down and everything. And as the survivor, your objective is to work with the other survivors to activate all the generators, to then find the switch to turn on the trigger that opens the gate, and then to actually find the exit. Oh, and to avoid being killed, essentially. I mean, you could not. You could completely forego avoid being killed and let the killer just come and introduce himself. That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Didn't happen, huh, Greg?
No, this game.
In all seriousness, though, it's a really cool concept because they've only in the beta you have access to one of the killer types, and he's like the iconic slasher that you've seen in every movie with a slasher. And the other 2 types, I'm not sure what they are offhand, but they'll be available when it comes out officially. I think it's the 14th.
That's
cool.
Cool.
So this game is interesting to me, and I think Javon brought up a perfect question earlier. Will this be this summer's Rocket League? And by that I mean there was a game released close to summer during the dry season of gaming where nothing gets released and everybody's complaining I have nothing to play. Rocket League came out and became like that summer's MLG game. Like that game was really fun. Me and Javon were playing it literally the whole summer. There wasn't a day we weren't streaming or playing. There was not a day we weren't streaming or playing that game. It was amazing. And I think this has the potential to be. However, there is a game coming out with the same concept, and this game is actually a licensed game based on the Friday the 13th franchise. Now, I'm not sure if that comes out this year or next year, but these games follow the same premise. So, what do you guys think? Do you think this is just a placement before that comes out? Do you think everybody will just switch to the Friday the 13th based on name alone, or do you guys think that this really has legs to stand on?
It all depends on what they do with Friday the 13th, because since it was only recently announced, it's likely to not come out until sometime next year. So, Dead by Daylight has a chance to.
Well, that's
really
the
establish
thing, though. Friday the 13th was announced last year, and I believe they've been working on it. They've been showing alpha footage all last year and then this year as well. So I think it's really coming out soon.
Yeah, see, I'm with Greg
like,
here. I didn't hear about it until this year. Even though it was announced last year, I don't think the word of mouth spread that well. And the thing about this is that a licensed game, we're talking about $60. One of the biggest selling points for this year, just like last year's Rocket League, this is a sub $20 game, which is huge for summer gaming.
Yes.
This is a game that everyone can afford at their library, and it does have. I mean, it's a multiplayer game, so there is replay value to it. And I will say this: I think this game can be great before, but I don't think this game can have the same momentum as Rocket League did pushing into this year. Like this game is a great game, but I wonder this is gonna have the same effect to me like games like Division and those other games that came out that were really cool games by concept when they first came out. Is what is the DLC looking like when it comes out the road? Are we gonna see new game modes? Are they gonna add more players to be able to survive more? Are we gonna have more killers in one spot, like 3 killers and 12 survivors? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a game that can potentially, ride or die just by gameplay alone, because it doesn't have any of the clout from the studios to back it. This game needs to seriously be a great game above all else. And part of a great game nowadays is to make sure that it has replay value and that the content comes down. And also we don't know what the price is. Is it going to be DLC that we have to pay for? Is this free DLC? I know Rocket League, most of the DLC was free. You know what I'm saying? So what exactly are we getting? We don't know. But based off of beta alone, if the game delivers with the same consistency, I think we have a killer hit on our hands. No pun intended.
No pun intended. So Christian, you got any thoughts on it? I mean, I know you tried to get to the beta earlier and called me to help save you, and I didn't do it.
Right,
so
I did get saved, so I have it. So as soon as we're off here, I'm going to install it tonight, and I may run through it at least once just to see, how it goes. I'm sure I'll get killed, but should be fun.
So no one saved me.
Awesome.
I want everyone knows that. No one saved me.
I tried to. I got on to save you, Javon. I really did.
I was
told
at
you
work.
go on Reddit. I told you go on Reddit. You didn't listen. So
And get people.
save yourself.
You did say that.
I told you to put it for me. I don't know what a subreddit is. Who cares about me?
Oh, wow.
I don't know what a subreddit is. It's 2016, and the one guy we have in charge doesn't know what a subreddit is.
See?
This should be an interesting year. Moving on, another, I guess a trailer was released, and details were released on Watch Dogs 2. Now, this is the sequel to Watch Dogs, one of the most disappointing games I've ever played in my life. So it's by Ubisoft, as usual. They're always disappointing me. They always fail me.
Jeez.
You're always failing me, Starscream. But they're coming out with Watch Dogs 2, and it seems to have fixed a lot of the problems that they had in Watch Dogs. I mean, anybody here played Watch Dogs?
Yes.
I played the demo.
Good. Not the only one.
But
so Watch Dogs is a hacking-based game.
I was gonna say, who here has heard of Watch Dogs way before the game came out? Like that was a really.
It was definitely.
The marketing was crazy behind that.
It was the most hyped game of that year. The marketing was amazing. It was really hyped, but again, it led to disappointment. I mean, graphics-wise, it was a disappointment. The gameplay was really repetitive, and then the hacking was just made. It was a one-button hack, and I found that to be so annoying. Like you could have did so much more with this. Before going on that, this new game, I don't know if any of you guys watched the trailer today, but it looks better. We have a black protagonist. Yes.
Marcus.
It looks amazing. It's going to be set in San Francisco, and there's tons of different elements they've added to this game, like hacking multiple people's cell phones all in one area, causing so much chaos. You're able to hack cars, make them drive into your enemies. It seems a bit more interesting than the first game. I mean, again, this is just a trailer, and they could just get us just like with Watch Dogs 2. But what are you guys' thoughts on? Just like Watch Dogs, what are you guys' thoughts on Watch Dogs 2?
I haven't seen the trailer yet, but if anything from what I've learned with the first Watch Dog, I was following it pretty heavily well before its release. Got my hands on the demo, played the demo, then I played it for a little bit at a friend's house. I liked it, but it didn't draw me in as much as I was hoping to when I finally got my hands on it. I hope they deliver a little more this go around.
I think the problem a lot of people had was this was essentially a skin version of Grand Theft Auto. You know what I'm saying? Or like Sleeping Dogs. Like I think everyone was expecting so much more out of the concepts, but this is it's an open world Grand Theft Auto-ish type of game. I'm gonna buy it. I bought the first Watch Dogs. I like the first Watch Dogs. For the most part. Long story short, my brother messed up my save file. So, I just didn't. After that, I was just like, whatever, I'm done. I got a chance to finish story mode myself. But I know the story ends.
Shout out to Shay for his delete problem. He has a real problem.
He has a serious problem.
This guy, pause out of the podcast. Real talk for a second. Shay, if you're watching this, I hate you. Why did you delete all of my phone data out of my phone just because you had my phone? Like, you used my phone, deleted all my calls, all my prior calls, and just gave it back to me. What is wrong with you, Shay?
How?
Moving on. Go ahead back to Javon.
Watch Dogs 3. I think, first of all, I'm going to say this. It may sound, however, I don't care how it comes out. Any game with the black protagonist, I got to give it a try. Not many games like that. I'm all for that diversity. You know what I'm saying? So, I have to
Mafia 3, though.
That Mafia 3 may be the better black
3, though.
game coming out. But I think, here's the thing. If they can just tweak some things in terms of graphical performance, if they allow, graphics cards of the modern era to really take a full advantage of, some of these special effects and start capping things. I mean, this could be a great visual game, and if the story mode can be really impelling. I mean, that's the thing. I think that's what killed the last game also. The story mode was kind of bland for some people, and so those kind of games, if the story mode doesn't pull you in, you don't want to do side quests, you don't want to do main quests, you don't want to play the game. You know what I'm saying? So, story mode has to be on point, and this game could be great.
Alrighty. All right. Anybody else have anything to add?
We'll see.
Much like Ubisoft, everyone's unimpressed.
We'll see. I'm interested, but we'll see.
Everybody just do their Greg face. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll have to get that trademark.
All right, our last bit of gaming news. Today, and this is hot news, the trailer was released for Injustice 2. Now, it wasn't an actual in-game trailer. This is just a cinematic trailer, and it was basically the Justice League now bickering over God knows what this time. So, Injustice was I thought the game was pretty good. It was basically Mortal Kombat with DC characters. I liked it. I thought it was fun. It had a great storyline. Mad that it used Superman as a plot device again, but regardless, well, I'm getting past that. So I wonder what this game actually has to offer. What did they change? It seems like everybody has armor on in this trailer, which kind of bugs me why Superman would want to wear Iron Man-like armor. He's Superman, the Man of Steel. I don't think he needs any more steel on him, but it seems like it might be like Mortal Kombat X's variation gameplay, where you change different, your characters, different variations. They add more, or take away some stuff about your character. So I don't know. It's just a trailer, so there's not much we can do but speculate on what it is. Did any of you guys? I know Javon did. I know Christian did. Greg, did you watch the trailer?
I did not.
Greg,
That's interesting.
You were killing me tonight.
Look, I came straight from work. Sorry.
He was working all day.
Yes.
Yeah, he was working all day.
What are we doing?
But probably going to get fired from our jobs tomorrow. Moving on. Christian, what are your thoughts on it?
I thought it looked interesting. I did notice all the armor. It was almost like like Iron Man. You see Batman and even Aquaman, all Flash. All of them had this kind of armor that's like ching and like glowing and stuff. So it was interesting. It was unique. Yeah. I think Superman does need armor because we saw how he got beat down in the movie by Batman with the kryptonite. So
with the toilet.
He needs help. He needs help, so he got his armor, so he'll be good. But I'm surprised you didn't mention the symbol that you saw.
You're so right. The one that I got excited about.
Yes.
But there was a All right. Anybody who knows me knows I used to watch Batman Beyond faithfully. That was my show when I was a kid. Me and my brother had all the action figures. We had the toys. We were big fans of that show. I love that show. I actually have it on my computer right now. But so we actually see the Batman Beyond symbol. Now I'm pretty sure that that's not Terry McGinnis. I'm pretty sure that's just an armor that Batman uses. However, that symbol got me excited because when it came on, I was like, are they doing multiple universes? Are they bringing in characters outside characters? Like, I'm just speculating, but that's all we can do with this trailer. But I'm like, this could be a little exciting. Because I wasn't as interested as when I saw the trailer, but when I saw that symbol, I was like, okay, I'm back in. You guys got me convinced. Javon, you got any thoughts?
Just neat. I mean, in terms of gameplay, I'm excited. Just to see what the Justice lore is. I like the lore of the last Injustice, not the game so much personally, but I didn't notice an Easter egg that the Flash armor was almost the same from the Batman v Superman armor. I don't know if you guys noticed that at all.
It was weird that it kind of correlated like that.
So weird. It was literally. I want to know what this is about. I just want to know. And the Batman Beyond thing, that's pretty cool. The thing is though, is that this could be a prototype suit from before. Because remember, Batman Beyond suit was actually given to him from Bruce.
It's a prototype suit. Yeah, exactly.
It could just be a prototype suit from before.
It's Bruce's suit.
Yeah.
You're definitely right. It could just be an armor of his. However, that symbol just it lit a fire in me. Like I got super excited. My eyes lit up like it was Christmas when I saw that symbol. So I mean, if that's all we're gonna see for now, it's good. I hope to see more, and I hope they change the story around where it's not fighting the evil Justice League again, because that's been done to death. I mean, how many Earth 3 stories or, Injustice League stories are we going to see? I didn't see many villains in this one either. So, again, this is just speculation. I wonder if they're just going to keep it with the League, because there's tons of members of the Justice League they could put into this. So, I'm just excited.
Everyone versus Dr. Manhattan.
That would be hilariously stupid. What controls does Dr. Manhattan need armor too? Like that'd be really weird.
Please give him some clothing of some sort.
Right.
Sidebar, Christian, are you still reading Watchmen?
I have it sitting by my bed to read. I haven't read it yet. It's sitting there waiting for me.
Okay.
It's waiting for me. I'll let you know.
You gotta finish it.
Hey, Greg, we have a question for one of our subscribers. They said, what headphones are you using?
It's a SteelSeries. It's been a while. I forgot the model. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. But yeah, they're a SteelSeries headset, and whatever their $60 ones were from like last year, I believe. Forget the name. But yeah, SteelSeries.
There you go. So it's a SteelSeries.
I'm catching up with some of the chats right now. You're right, Keon. I should never let anybody touch my phone. I'm sorry. If you're just tuning in, that was a thing earlier where Javon's brother likes deleting things. He deleted all my call history just cuts. So thank you, Keon, for that great tech tip. Please watch his channel for more tech tips and anecdotes like that one. He has tons of them. And Lizzles also said he's Superman. I'd like to see how the suit fits into their natural fighting styles. Would I say to that? Probably not well. Superman fighting in an armor suit just seems odd to me. I'm not saying that it will be. I'm just saying to me it just seems redundant.
Yeah,
or maybe it's protection from kryptonite. It's super wedgie. Maybe it just protects him from kryptonite. Who knows? It's going to be weird to look at. But all right, let's move on. We are running light on time tonight. So we have a couple of comic book news. I don't even know if that sounded right. We have a couple of items in comic book news this week, and the first one is we have the Wonder Woman 75th anniversary comic. 75 years of Wonder Woman. Anybody here? Raise your hands if you're a Wonder Woman fan.
I can't
raised.
Fan.
Okay.
I like the new Wonder Woman.
I'm saying I didn't mind her in the movie. I bet I'll say that. But
you're
beyond
right. I had no problems. The only thing I know about Wonder Woman is the one from Justice League, the Justice League animated show from when we were kids.
Same here.
And Linda Carter. That's all I know. So, and Linda Carter's always been good at my book. So, just saying. That's all I know about Wonder Woman. I probably won't be picking this up, but for those of you who are Wonder Woman fans, this is phenomenal. 75 years. She's been around for 75 years. That is definitely a milestone. As we've seen, Superman, Batman, I think even the Joker recently hit 75 years, if I'm not correct, recently. So, yeah, it's
Captain America.
congrats to all.
Hashtag
Yeah.
Hydra.
Yeah, we gotta hashtag Hydra. Thanks for keeping us not DC fanboys. We forgot to mention that. So,
Gotta balance it out.
you're right. You got to balance it out. Too bad we only had one that we said, but it's pretty amazing.
Hashtag Daredevil. I can see the whole time.
But in all seriousness, though, congratulations to all the writers that are gone and not with us anymore, and the ones that are still writing that comic book. You guys are doing a great job. The comic seems to be doing fairly well. They're always adding to the lore of Wonder Woman, and I cannot wait to see her film next year. We will all definitely our butts will be in those seats to see Wonder Woman on the big screen. And congratulations. That's pretty much all I can say to that. 75 years is a big milestone. Next bit of news is Marvel Civil War 2. That is a current comic run. I've actually read 2 issues of Civil War. Haven't read any of the tie-ins. And it seems pretty interesting so far. The concept of this is that have you guys known the recent lore of the Inhumans, where they've basically become the mutants of the Marvel Universe now?
Yeah.
All right. So basically, there is a new Inhuman who has the ability to see the future. And he's basically stopped a crisis, stopped one crisis. I forgot who they stopped. It was a major crisis. I'd never seen that bad guy.
It was a big samurai monster.
Yeah. So they stopped that, and the conflict is, do they have the right? And it's basically between, so far, Iron Man and Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. So they're at a crossroads, or not a crossroads, but they have come into conflict by, is it right to act upon things before they actually happen? Is it right to arrest a criminal before they actually commit a crime? And a major event just happened within the second issue, or issue number 1, if you guys are reading, is that Carol Danvers took a team to stop Thanos. And unfortunately, there were 2 big casualties. Spoiler alert, if you are watching and don't want spoiler alert, I'll wait. I'm not waiting anymore. War Machine and She-Hulk are now dead. Which is that's a big hit in the Marvel Universe. They're both beloved characters, and when Tony walks in and sees that Carol Danvers is sitting next to, gets informed that his best friend has died, he is livid. So what do you guys think? This could be a good storyline. This actually seems better than the original Civil War storyline, which I didn't care for that much.
Yeah, this is going to be a great movie adaptation, and take 10 years.
And I need to see more of Civil War 2. Like I said last week, it was essentially Minority Report. So it's all in how they implement it, honestly. I was a little put off by having Thanos be caught unawares, and they actually were able to contain
It's unrealistic.
And he had a gun. What does Thanos need a gun for?
Because he's Thanos. He just does crazy stuff.
It's like Thanos was like. It's like Thanos didn't even know what he was doing. It was like he was being controlled into doing what he was doing. It's like, I'm pretty sure Thanos would have thought for a second, why am I holding a gun? I could literally just slap everybody right now and it'd be over. But I think I guess he was caught unawares. I guess that's the storyline. Because in the book, they went after him, if I'm correct, right? If I'm not correct, right?
Right. The precog anticipated his arrival.
Yeah, so, I mean, it seems interesting. I don't think that's how it really would have went. I guess the casualties make sense, but I don't think you're catching Thanos off guard. That's just my opinion on that. So it seems like an interesting premise. I can't wait to see where this goes down the road. Are any of you guys going to be planning on reading Civil War, or is it just me and Greg?
Yes.
I do plan on reading Civil War. I think Civil War 2 is going to be pretty interesting, because I do want to see the character development now that ideologies of Tony Stark is more on the same wavelength as past Steve Rogers. Having that mindset where he's not thinking we should get full control, and the kind of more reserved thinking. That's that's kind of different on this Tony's new character. So I'm really interested to see what's going on. Plus now with the death like Rhodey, he can really. I want to see him take it there. You know what I'm saying? Emotionally.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good, Christian.
Yeah, I'll probably be following on Wikipedia. I'm curious to see how they bring back these characters that have died. But I won't get back on that whole soapbox again. But we'll see how the characters come back. Is what I'm eager to see how they work around that.
Oh yeah. He wasn't really dead. We saw this happen like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Just like Captain America won't stay with Hydra. All right.
Dr. Manhattan just brings back Rhodey.
Yeah, right. You're right. Just blame it on Dr. Manhattan. That seems to be the trend. Blame it on Dr. Manhattan. He probably created the Marvel Universe too. Moving on. We also have the release today of Action Comics 958. Notice that after Rebirth, they didn't rename. They went back with the old number for Action Comics. And this special issue introduces a new Superman. And no, we're not talking about the old Superman that has come back to the new Earth that was created for some odd reason, which I'm really happy for. I'm glad to have old Clark back. He was my favorite Superman. But Lex Luthor now has a power armor, and he is Superman. What are you guys' thoughts on Lex Luthor taking a hero role? I did air quotes because he's a douche, and there's no way he's going to stay a hero. They did this thing with Justice League.
Lex is one of those dudes you just don't trust ever. Eventually, it might be a long time down the road, but he's gonna change and show you who he really is. It's interesting to see that twist. See how it pans out.
Yeah, I don't trust him.
Tradition, right? I
don't trust him. Essentially, he did have some flashes of, I guess you would say, goodness at the end of All-Star Superman. He was, he had some hints that he might be able to change and, see the error of his ways and, come down to some sanity. But again, I don't think he'll be able to maintain that. Something's going to set him off, and he'll be back.
I mean, Lex Luthor's character is very similar to Amanda Waller's, where he thinks that there needs to be a check to all the heroes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, I won't say I won't go out.
The good guy.
Yeah. He definitely he thinks he's a good guy, and which all it's perspective. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is though is that he truly believes that there needs to be someone more powerful on Earth's side. That he believes he's on Earth's side than the Justice League. Mm-hmm. So I know that's always been his motto before. I don't know what it is now. I don't know.
Trusted heroes.
Yeah, so I don't know now what's it going to be. Of course it's, he said, take access, you're talking to Superman, unsubscribe. No, whatever, man. Get out of here. But in all seriousness, I don't.
All right, hang on. Let me jump in there with some Marvel stuff real quick. Just a quick comparison. I put Lex Luthor in the same bag as Dr. Doom. Whenever they're involved in the story, something crazy is going to happen in their favor that they planned at least a decade before then.
Right. So, as is tradition. Like, that's just how it goes. So, I haven't picked up... I picked up this issue on Comixology. I haven't read it yet. But I haven't really been spoiled on anything. This is just going off of what news. I didn't read the whole entire article off of comicbook.com because I don't want to be spoiled of too much because I really want to read it for myself and see where the storyline goes. But it seems interesting to me. I like his Superman armor, by the way. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. And it's like always, like I said before, it's always good to see old Clark Kent back in the shoes. I don't know how they explain because I'm pretty sure their Clark Kent on that world already is dead and declared dead. So it's weird that he'd just show up here, so I would like to see where this goes. So I wonder if that means him and Lois Lane will be taking back their civilian identities. Because they were going by Clark and Lois White. And also his son is also going to, I'd probably not be in the series as much, but he does have a son, Jonathan White. And, I guess he'll be a Kent now. And yeah, I want to see where they take this Superman series, man. It could be very interesting. They got the old, true Big and Blue back, and I just want to see where they go with this. We all good?
Yeah.
Alrighty. And we have TV and movie news. You mind if we just go through this one?
Oh yeah, definitely.
We are definitely over time. It's weird. So we have TV and movie news. Superman is returning to CW in the Supergirl show. I will watch as long as it's Tom Welling. I like Superman.
Same here. It better be Tom Welling. I'm not accepting for anyone less.
Yeah.
Or unless it's the current Superman from the movies, which I doubt. Like,
if it's not him or Tom Hill. Do you know how psyched I would be if they got Henry Cavill? Like, I'd be really happy.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. But if it did, totally cool.
Oh man, that would be cool.
But if it's not, Tom Welling better be in there. I mean, rumors say that
Tom Welling back.
Plenty of Smallville characters will actually be coming through this. I mean, that's rumors say. Rumors say that we should be seeing alternate versions of people from other universes. And a lot of the cast from the old Smallville heroes may be reprising some of their roles. So we may see another version of. I mean, another Supergirl
now.
Yeah, right, exactly. I'm actually watching Supergirl this year.
I haven't watched an episode.
I've not even watched a full commercial. So we'll see.
I'm sorry.
We'll see.
Supergirl fans. I'm just not a fan of Supergirl. But if they bring that Tom Welling, though, I might be tuning.
Now, if they bring back Lana Lang, then maybe I'll watch it. Because back in the day, I had a little thing for Lana Lang. She comes in the show, then
Lana? You think? Wait.
I'm in.
All right. You think Lana looked better than Chloe?
Yes.
Yeah. Way better.
Jovan.
Chloe is definitely your type. Chloe is definitely your type.
Jovan. Let's be serious, man. Anyway,
type.
This is foolishness.
In other news,
Did Lana look better than Lois?
Yes.
Oh no! No,
yeah.
Everyone's fired. Show's over.
All day, every day.
Yeah, she was gorgeous, dude. All right, and also in our last bit of TV news, the Justice League Action Cartoon Network show will be coming out soon, and this seems like it will be sort of like Teen Titans Go, but in a more. It'll be taken more. They'll take their characters a bit more seriously. And they'll still have the Teen Titans Go format, and it has some of the old voices coming back, like Kevin Conroy's Batman and Mark Hamill's Joker. And in the article that we got from Movie Pilot, I know we're just trying to cite our source here. I know it's not the best site to get news from, but they actually had proof this time, promise you. They actually showed a picture of like the concept art of all their characters, and they look cool. I'm happy. What about you guys? Would you guys be turning in? I know we're all grown men. We're like grown men now. Should we even be watching cartoons? But
seriously, screw that noise. I'm checking it out. I don't care. Yeah. Let's just hope they don't take themselves too serious. Just to make that joke for the Teen Titans Go followers, which is like 2 of us.
All right.
No, I watched Teen Titans Go.
Episode called Too Serious. And let's see how that goes.
And it was hilarious.
Right.
I like that episode.
Keon said, "Mike, watch your mouth. You don't look cool."
What?
Keon said, "Watch your mouth, Mike." He said, "Watch your mouth, Mike. You don't look cool." I honestly, I personally think that if they go the Teen Titans Go route with Justice League characters, I don't know if they can match it because so much has already been done on Teen Titans Go. It's going to be really hard to just bring them. They might just bring them into their own episode. I don't know. This would be kind of hard. This would be interesting. I'm interested. I'll definitely watch it, but I don't think they can bring it because Teen Titans Go set a bar for funny like way too high.
You're looking at the character art. It doesn't appear to be that they're trying to kind of go to that same kind of cartoony, exaggerated look. It looks a little more realistic. They look younger in a way. So they look like, mid-20s in age as far as looking at how they kind of look.
That looks horrible.
Yeah, it looks interesting, but I can't imagine that they would go that far with the humor. So maybe it'll be somewhere in the middle. Not too dark, but not goofy.
I'm sorry, Christian. Keon just made a good point. Young Justice is what they need to be going after. And yes, bring Young Justice back. # free Young Justice.
Who is this Keon? They sound like a cool guy.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Keon is our tech competitor. Do not like him. Unsubscribe from the channel tonight.
But he's watching.
No, Keon, he is watching. So Keon also runs a TechX channel, and he also runs another channel with another friend of ours, Q. And they're always going. They do amazing videos, so make sure you guys check them out. Free plug there. I guess I am cool now, huh, Keon? Moving on. So anybody else watching that show? You guys gonna be checking it out, right?
I'll check it out for sure.
I'll check it out.
And Greg, you need to go meet.
What?
And Keon isn't gonna watch it, but Keon wants to meet you and have a drink. Or no,
Hey.
correction. You need to buy him a drink.
50-50, man. 50-50.
All right. It's been a long time coming, but we are finally in our final topic for tonight. And this is a special topic for me. I don't know what the applause was for, but thank you. Is the U.S. cell phone carrier wars. This has got to be the funniest thing that's been going on recently. Now, the cell phone wars, I don't know if you guys have been following it, but these carriers are getting crazier and crazier as time goes on. I mean, with T-Mobile lowering their prices and just giving away free stock as long as you kind of sign into T-Mobile, that has got to be one of the craziest CEOs I've ever seen in my life. He's a psychopath. And
So John Ledger?
Old
John Ledger's awesome, man.
He's awesome, but he's a psychopath, Javon. You remember? Go back and look at the old guy who used to do interviews on like Fox News. He was wearing a business suit, had his hair slicked back. This psychopath is wearing hoodies and T-shirts now with like a mullet type hairstyle, just doing anything to bring people to T-Mobile. I like his business model. He's a great businessman. He has a method that works for him. I'm not saying crazy in a negative way, but that guy he's a psychopath. All right, he's crazy in the way he does things. We also have the old Verizon "Can you hear me now" guy. Now works for Sprint. He's actually in a commercial for
He's like,
Sprint.
can you,
The guy they
can you-
fired.
I mean,
The guy
can
they
you hear me now?
fired is
what? No, I can't.
what is going on? What is happening here? Like, Sprint is always trying to play catch up to all these other carriers. So. But this was the wrong way to go, I think. This is definitely the wrong way to go. It was crazy.
I think it was the best move for him, man.
It worked.
Just
It worked.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
It got us talking. Right, yeah.
I'm only talking to them to get paid. I just want people to watch my show. This isn't for Sprint.
Either way.
Don't buy Sprint. And that's not all. AT&T is also trying to test out the 5G networks. It won't be coming to us anytime soon. I doubt we'll be getting any 5G service until maybe 2020. But they're starting to test out the 5G service. That sounds interesting.
I mean,
And
all
Verizon
that's
is
is rebranded
battling
LTA. You know.
Yeah, of course. And we also have Verizon battling its own employees. What is happening in the cell phone carrier universe right now? Guys, tell us about it. What story you want to go over for first? I mean, of the multitude I've just laid out for everyone. Which one you want to tackle?
I mean, I'll touch on the whole AT&T 5G business for a second. I just wonder, until we get some changes in pricing structure and some not being so stingy with data, it doesn't matter how fast it is. Because what am I doing with 5G if I've got 5 gigs on my data plan? Like, I'm not able to use the 5G for anything, so why do I have it? It's there just to tease me and taunt me and make me upset. Let us use the data that we paid for. Let's just put it open again. And if people abuse it, then, throttle them down. But let us use it. If we can use it, it's great. Otherwise, it's just stats and fluff. That's just me.
I agree. And the problem is that it's only certain carriers that make this such a pain in the butt. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what the whole cell phone war is about. It's about old models and new models. For some people, T-Mobile's the extreme. They are the extreme. They are changing the market. They are forcing other people to do things that they usually wouldn't do. Verizon is old faithful still. they're still hiking up prices for people that are grandfathered users in. So like I understand what you mean. Like if you don't have data, a lot of this upgrade in Spectrum doesn't really mean much. But we're still not. That's still a small issue compared to just overall performance. Because at this point, though there is still a ranking system in terms of carrier, and if people don't know, it's Verizon is still technically up top, and Sprint's at the bottom, or I guess U.S. Cellular is the 5th carrier. They're on the bottom. But if you consider, in all seriousness, performance, they're all generally around the same nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's still no better, like the plus. If you live in the metropolitan areas, everyone got you covered. Everyone has you covered. If you live somewhat rural, you're still covered by most carriers. If you live in the mountains, AT&T and Verizon may have an old Spectrum somewhere laying around, like Edge or something that can get you connected. But who wants to be on Edge anyway? You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be on Wi-Fi at that point. You know what I'm saying? So like, at this point, carriers are just being stubborn, and I'm talking about AT&T and Verizon in particularly because their big issue is pricing. They don't want to bring down their pricing or make data widely available, and they're holding on a spectrum that just practically, put this way, the spectrum that's being held onto now in fear of overloading the system is stupid because you look at T-Mobile, they have tons and tons of people, they have what? They have
you're right. Never had your back in the city.
Huh? Is it what happened?
Check the chats. Keon's smoking right now. He said Javon is smoking crack if he's talking about anyone not living in the city.
Sprint never had your back in the city? He said, can I get on this show real quick? What do you guys think? Should we bring Keon on? Should we bring Keon on for this?
If Keon wants to come on, let him come on. Just send him the link, and he wants to hop on.
All right, Keon, you know what?
Long.
Right. It's going to up the time. Thanks a lot, Keon. But we'll go ahead since you are someone who knows cell phone stuff.
Yeah, this is a cell phone guy. He's also a software developer, right?
Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk his nonsense. But before he comes to here and starts selling you guys on Verizon, remember the devil's a liar. Okay?
T-Mobile gives you stock options, son.
But seriously, these are the things that are separating. What's the difference? I mean, when it comes down to cell phone wars, in all seriousness, what is the difference between getting one service or the other? Christian made a good point earlier. One of his points were, data. If you have 500 gigabits, a second, what's the big deal if you only have 2 gigs of data on your plan?
Yeah.
The time you stream a movie in high quality 4K, it's done. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of like the idea here. So you have people like, T-Mobile. I mean, they're the ones that are killing it now. Here's unlimited data for $90. I mean, just they're not putting too much information out here on the internet. I mean, who here has a sub $100 phone bill? Like the idea here. So you have.
Here we go. All right, Greg, Christian. This is the part of any podcast when Keon gets on, him and Javon will go at it for literally hours.
Oh, I know.
So everybody sit back, get your popcorn out, because this is about to be funny. Keon, what's your take on this?
I'm going to just say y'all done messed up by putting me on this show. I don't know why y'all did that.
Keon, you're always welcome on our show.
Hey, that's what's up, man.
Don't cause too much trouble. Don't cause too much trouble right now, man. Please don't.
I just wanted to talk to Javon. He was saying a lot of things that I just couldn't get behind. God, let me look at my comments real quick. Let me get a refresher. But yeah, I think it was Kristen who was saying that he can't utilize his speed, and I was saying that speed is just so the carriers can say they got speed. It's not really for you to use it. They just want you to have it, so that way you run out of your 10 gigs in 2 days, and then you need to pay for more. That's all about money because it's a business. That's just standard. And Javon saying that everybody's the same. Oh, Javon, have you ever been on Sprint?
Don't misquote me. I said about the same in terms of performance. Am I right?
Have you ever been on Sprint, Javon? Like ever?
Yes, yes.
Like ever though? Like really?
Yes. Last time I've been on Sprint, I had a chirp phone.
Oh god. Last time I
That
was
is
on Sprint,
a long time ago.
I had the
It's not
S5
recent.
because I got an S5 from Sprint and I was just toying around with it. Let me tell you that I went into my Best Buy and my phone stopped working. Like I couldn't get calls or data or anything. And this was 2 years ago, Jovan. 2 years ago. Like, tell me
much
why
has
my
happened
phone
in
doesn't
2
work. Tell me why I can't receive calls. Tell me why I was working in Best Buy. Every time I had to activate a Sprint or a Boost phone, I had to walk outside. So like, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. All right, but in all seriousness, all right, look. So, my child's mom, she has Sprint, right? And she's had Sprint for a long time. She's gotten anywhere I've gotten coverage for most places. She's gotten coverage. The difference between her coverage and my coverage has been the matter of HTTPA plus and 4G. You know what I'm saying? Some places where I have Edge, she may have 3G.
Why do you have Edge?
Because she lives in the mountains. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying it all depends on where you are. There is a market, like especially in like the Virginia side, there's actually a huge market where Sprint is more dominant than majority of the carriers in Roanoke,
Yeah, but now
Virginia.
you're just picking like little random states that nobody really care about, though.
I mean, it has a population, so obviously people
The
care.
people that live there obviously
No,
care.
He's like,
I just took out the
Virginia,
whole
forget
state.
them.
I took out the whole state of Virginia right now. Like, I don't even care about Virginia right now. Don't get
I'm
me
just
started
saying.
on West Virginia. 'Cause that's not
Oh my god, that's where his baby mama lives, bro.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, whoever baby mama lives in West Virginia. Y'all need to move them somewhere else. They need
No,
to go to-
but no, seriously,
Go home.
What do you mean I am? What do you
Go to sleep. Go to sleep, Kian. You're
No,
talking
but I'm
crazy.
serious. It's just like for the U.S. like Verizon
Yeah.
and AT&T has this huge gap that like I don't even think T-Mobile's doing some real big things. I don't know what's going on with John and his mindset right now, but he's doing a lot of random stuff. I don't know how well it's working because it did get him over Sprint, but I don't know if it's actually going to get him to AT&T's level. Yeah.
And
I mean,
I like what he's doing. I'm excited to see what he does next, but it's not to see it as a business move. I'm just excited to see what else crazy this guy can do.
Apparently,
recently he's released a.
money.
He's released a video of him training before a press conference, practicing on high five dummies, running on a treadmill. This guy is literally insane, but he has such a great business model. Here's where I get funny about his new business model and where he's going to be able to, give stock options to everyone. So if you buy a Sprint phone, you get the stock option. And here's where it becomes like a Ponzi scheme a little bit. Now, if you get 3 friends to join T-Mobile, you become like a senior vice president at T-Mobile. But if those 3 friends get up 3 more friends each, then you get more stock. And then
Do you get
probably
stock from them getting friends?
It's so weird.
No. I checked it. So you can get a maximum of 5 stock shares for free. So there's a cap. There's a cap.
No, I think you get a max of 100, like end all be all. I think you get a max of 100.
Exactly.
But
so
in terms
if you
of
get more friends,
upfront friends, you can only get 5 friends up front that can actually subscribe to you. So, and the thing about it is that is it like a pyramid scheme essentially? No, because it's T-Mobile.
No, it's different. It's not. No. It's not a pyramid scheme. I'm just saying it's not a pyramid scheme because they're not guaranteeing you any money.
Yeah.
And they're not saying you'll be paid. I'm just saying the business model is funny as crap. This is what I like about the CEO. He's willing to try different things that the other carriers won't. He is insane.
The other thing about that is, I remember my other comment is, what are other carriers doing copying T-Mobile? Like, I don't think anybody's going to copy the stock option or anybody's going to copy like unlimited data or anything.
Nobody's that. I don't even want to say crazy. Nobody is that. What's the word I'm looking for? It's.
Everybody knows their place. Like Sprint's not trying to be up there anymore. It's just like, okay, you doing all this stuff.
That's
Verizon doesn't need to give out stock.
AT&T has definitely made some adjustments to their plans because of Uncarrier. Remember Uncarrier 7 when they were, they started, you started to have no longer certain apps will no longer affect data, like music apps or video apps won't affect data. So if you watch Netflix and you were on a limited plan, that wouldn't count against your actual data plan. Now there was a caveat. You couldn't stream at, at HD, so that means you're streaming at 4K. I mean at 480 and below. But
They're doing it on AT&T?
yeah, so AT&T they're now they're taking music on the music side, so they're slowly getting there, but they're allowing Spotify to no longer hit against data caps.
Pretty dope. Okay, maybe T-Mobile might be shaking.
All right.
A couple
So that
things.
begs the question, though, because I wonder how you guys feel about this as far as, net neutrality with these companies picking certain corporations that you can stream their stuff for free.
Right.
Because
that was
effectively
really
boxing
weird.
out other companies that aren't in the deal to get the free data streaming.
Right. So if you notice,
it's weird. It's very weird how they're choosing to do that. And T-Mobile is one of the biggest culprits of that right now. They are the biggest culprit of that. And it's really again, I don't want to say it's a bad thing. It's just a strange way to do things. It's a really odd way to do things. And I think a lot of people don't like it is because it's a new way to do things. And that's what that guy is all about, is doing something different. Is it a little suspect? Yeah. It is. But what are your thoughts, Javon? Because I know you're aching to say something about that.
no, I was saying because the net neutrality thing isn't new. They talked about it last year. They brought on a lot of people since then. They brought on YouTube and Google Play Music and some radio one. Like they keep adding on tons of times.
Yeah, they're adding.
The thing is, though, is eventually they are messing with it. They are in some gray areas with net neutrality. The idea, what I believe, and I think that's what they're showing most people, is that they're trying to get to a point where the cell phone is no longer prohibited from the data plan. So I think they're trying to get to the point where data in general is no longer a thing that's being capped or even counted against your plan. The problem with that is there a plan that kind of fits everybody? And the only plan that you can fit everyone is that there's no limit on texting, no limit on data, and there's no limit on voice calling.
So you're saying that the carriers are coming from unlimited plans to tiered plans and then going back to unlimited plans?
Everyone else except for T-Mobile. I mean, they're doing that. And I will say, because you look at Sprint. Remember, they moved away from unlimited options just earlier this year, and then like a month later, they were like, yeah, so we have an unlimited plan again.
To their carrier.
You know what I'm saying? And, the thing is, though, is that if you're a cell phone carrier provider, let's just say T-Mobile goes out and says, hey, we're now selling all service plans $50, unlimited everything. It's our only plan option we have. Plus, you get Wi-Fi calling and Wi-Fi texting enabled. What's stopping everyone from going over? Spectrum?
Carrier, the service quality.
Or is it Spectrum, right? So, you know what I'm saying? And is T-Mobile available where you are? And what if it is? What if they roll out the 200 megahertz spectrum, and now they have the same current spectrum as Verizon has?
Coverage.
So then we're worried about a monopoly in terms of service, and then we have more legal issues down the road. So the problem is that these carriers have to now find new ways to differentiate themselves. Greg, who's your provider?
I went T-Mobile, man.
T-Mobile. Christian, who's your provider?
Verizon.
Hey.
X. You're Verizon too, right?
Yep.
All right, and Mike, you're T-Mobile, right?
I got Boost.
Yeah, but
Mike,
where you at?
He said I got Boost. This
Where
guy,
you at?
Mike.
I can't believe it. No, here's the thing. What would it take for anyone here
I'm just
to
joking.
switch over to AT&T? And no one here is AT&T. What would it take for us to move to AT&T?
Price.
Not me.
Well,
If Verizon,
yeah.
if I wasn't
Remember,
Verizon.
I used to. Hold on. No, but Javon, you remember I used to be with AT&T, and you were the one that told me about T-Mobile. It was like, hey, you don't need to be paying $300 a month that cover you and your brother. How about you get on this family plan for $160 and get that unlimited data?
Right.
That seemed like that was a great selling point to me.
So if AT&T came on and said, we give it to you for $150.
I'm gonna give you. How about you give me $80 and I give you and your brother a line for $80 unlimited data? That's what it would take for me to switch.
That'll take you to switch.
It's all about price for me. It's all about price and unlimited data.
So Keon and Greg, what about you guys? You guys are two guys. What would it take you to switch to another carrier?
It all comes down to about 4 things for me, man. Pricing, coverage, the devices that are compatible with their network, and the data cap. That's it. If AT&T had a better setup than T-Mobile, I'd switch.
You switch? Here's the thing, right? Eventually, we're going to get to the point where all these carriers are going to have essentially identical plans with identical tier points, right?
I mean, that's basically what Verizon and AT&T were like a year ago.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Verizon, AT&T, we're neck and neck in terms of plans and, caps and coverage. Here's the big deal, is that now T-Mobile, they're looking to, hey, on Carrier 11, we're adding, Pizza Tuesdays on your stuff, so you get free.
That?
I'm just saying, that's where we're at now. The cell phone wars got to the point where one carrier want to give you free Domino's pizza on Tuesdays and movie tickets or stock. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm still not going to T-Mobile though. Like, it's gonna take something spectacular for me to get off Verizon. Like, it would take a multitude of things for me to get off Verizon.
How much you paying a month? How much you paying a month, Keon?
It's not about price for me though. Like, price is not a
Hold
factor.
on, Keon. No. I want it all to be known. If you're uncomfortable with saying the price, I understand.
$90 a month.
How much you paying a month?
I pay $90 a month. $90 a month.
What? $90 a month. And how many lines? One line. Now, if T-Mobile could cut that in half, you still wouldn't switch. You'd be like, nah, I'm good. It's all about... So for you, it's more so about the coverage.
It's about coverage and quality for more than anything. Okay. Like, I want to be able to go anywhere and say, hey, I got coverage.
Yeah, I have a friend just like you, Steve. He has Verizon. He's had Verizon for ages. He's not switching. You will not get that dude to get off
it would take
Verizon.
like 5 different random acts of God to be like, okay, you got to get off Verizon. I'd be like, fine, okay.
Exactly. Verizon literally would have to murder a friend of his. He'd literally have to murder me for Steve to get off Verizon.
I don't know if you'd leave Verizon for that.
He probably would. I'm probably not with it. You're right about that. Yeah, I'm just always interested to hear why people love Verizon so much. And the same thing I hear all the time is, like you said, coverage and quality. Huh?
I think Christian's on Verizon. I don't hear him switching.
Again, I was on AT&T. I only switched just because my wife's been with Verizon for 20 years, whatever. So we wanted to be on the same network, same plan, whatever. So I just jumped to Verizon because she was already grandfathered in.
It wasn't like a big deal to you. It was just like whatever.
Yeah, I was like, whatever, price is about the same. I'm getting a new phone right now anyway, so I don't have a contract, so whatever. That's the other big thing.
Well, that's a big question. A lot of people who get new phones unlocked, unlocked is kind of the way to go nowadays, is that you have CDMA phones. Verizon and Sprint are CDMA phones. Therefore, you can't just stick a SIM card in there.
Verizon's unlocked. Hold up.
What?
Verizon is unlocked. All their phones are unlocked.
But just because they're unlocked, they're GSM compatible.
You can get unlocked phones and put them on Verizon, aka Nexus 6.
Yeah, like the Nexus phones, yes. The Nexus phones can go. And there's some unlocked phones that can go with Verizon that has CDMA components.
It is harder. I won't give you that. It is harder.
You know what I'm saying? But at open,
Greg, your wife has said, Keon, you're about to get burnt a little bit. Uh-oh. I think some people are also pretty committed and overly loyal to their carrier.
And
what is overly loyal? What does that mean?
That even when something better comes
out, you'd kill Verizon, wouldn't you? If Verizon needed a body drop tonight, you'd do it. You would do it. You'd drop a body for Verizon.
I mean, hey, my phone still works, though.
He said, whatever it takes to keep the phone on.
He said my phone still
works. Check this out, right? Well, now you're looking at who said Greg? You said earlier phones was a big deal on devices on your carriers. Right. Well, you look at AT&T now. They're offering what's if you have their direct what's it called, Direct TV?
Yeah,
you can get a free iPhone and up to 5 iPhones half off. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, when it comes down to the carrier differentiating themselves, is this enough for a carrier to say, hey, we can get you essentially 6 iPhones for the cost of 3? If iPhones were something
AT&T with a family of people, be like, hey, we all here. Like, if it's just one person, like just Greg, then he's just like, yeah, I got all these iPhones and I still got
put them on eBay, I guess, or whatever.
I'm saying that these are the things that these companies have to do now to make themselves relevant. T-Mobile has to give you pizza on Tuesdays to be relevant in their eyes. You never know. Sprint has to go get the Verizon guy to say that he can now hear you with Sprint. And even
illegally,
what was that slogan?
Legally, he can't say that. Hold on. Legally, he can't say, "Can you hear me now?" Legally, he can't do that. He will sue.
Can no, I'm pretty sure in the commercial they said. In the commercial, he said, you guys may know me as the can you hear me now guy from Verizon, right?
Well, I mean,
but he said it in that. He didn't actually say the phrase and be like, I'm on Sprint. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
He'd have gotten sued so hard. And
I mean, he would have gotten
Switch
sued.
it up at the end. He said something like, "Did you hear that?" or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. He'll switch it up, but you ain't saying he is not. I guarantee you right now, he did not say, "Can you hear me now?" When that Sprint commercial.
I'm pretty sure. I was thinking, go ahead and take the body.
That'd be the body that Keon's got to drop to keep his cell phone on.
But I'm serious. But you look at someone from a Sprint perspective, like they feel like they need to make drastic steps. For Sprint, a lot of their deals now are buy one phone, get another phone free, and they're usually the latest phones of whatever company's out. For some people, is that enough for you to switch carriers? Is getting a phone that important for you to switch carriers?
I know for a lot of people out in just a lot of consumers, I guess, they'll do stuff like that. Because when I used to work at Best Buy, people would come in like, "Oh, I need to switch because they got this buy one get one free thing." So some people are about that, but I don't care about how much pizza or stock or half price phones I get because I just want to make sure I can make a phone call and get my data.
Yeah, it used to be harder because they would lock you into the 2-year contracts. They're all kind of moving away from that now. And they're not trying to subsidize the phones anymore. They're just saying, look, you want the phone? Okay, it's a monthly fee. It's a monthly, installment plan for your phone, or just a lease. We just give you a new phone every year, and you pay us $50 a month to have a phone. And so the phones are becoming commoditized. The service is becoming commoditized. So that's why they have to do all these things to kind of be different. Because now we're like, look, at a base level, I need a good phone, and I need to have good service. And that is worth X amount of dollars, period. And people aren't caring as much about who it is. And since they can switch easier without these contracts now, people are like, whatever, just jump here, jump there. Doesn't matter. I have no contract. I can just stop the installment plan. I'll give you the phone back and go get their phone on their installment plan. And I'm good. I'm good. So as long as, your service works where you are, people don't care. Like, I used to travel a lot, like around the country. And so then I was like, look, I must have Verizon or AT&T. They ain't trying to go somewhere randomly and have no cell service. Now, I'm mostly here. So if it works at home and at work and on, 95, then I'm mostly okay. I don't care as much about that.
And I feel like jumping on Christian's what he's just saying, I feel like it's about how much somebody values the phone. Because if somebody if a phone is just a phone to somebody, they're not paying $200. They're just going to pay $30, $40 or whatever. And, whoever carrier can offer that, whoever has the best deal at the time. But if somebody's like, if phone is life to somebody, they're paying $100, $200 per line because it's that important to them. So I kind of feel like not necessarily your budget, but how much you value having this phone. If it's not a big deal, then you're not going to pay a lot of money. But if it's your life, then you're paying for it.
No, makes sense.
All right, guys. I think that is our... That's everybody get everything they had off their chest. Everybody okay? Are we still friends?
No.
T-Mobile, hashtag T-Mobile.
I think we can put the soapboxes away now.
Yeah, Jovan.
Yeah, Jovan, put your
All right,
soapbox away.
Keon, Jovan, shake hands. Virtually shake hands. There you go.
That was awkward.
All right, guys. Special special thank you to Keon for coming out of nowhere and just joining this podcast just because he felt like we were saying the wrong things and he had to set the record straight. I always appreciate Keon doing that. If you have watched us for a long time, Keon has been known to do this multiple times. Like, if he doesn't like what me and Javon are talking about, he's like, no, I'm not going to let you guys just get away with saying it. I'm getting in. I'm getting in on this.
I might start off as trolling, but I'll let you know. So.
Keon will always, he always winds up being on our show, and I just want to thank him for that. Your insight is greatly appreciated, as always.
Thank you.
And it's time to close out tonight. Thank you to those guys who are watching, who are still watching. And let's go over some new tech items that we've got before we get out of here tonight.
Before you do that, Mike, I'm going to hop off. I'm going to just say thank you guys for having me on. Let me jump on. Like I said, I'll always troll your comments, so be sure to look there. And you guys have fun.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Thanks, Keon.
See ya.
All right, we want to go over some of the before we end the night. We have to go over two of the things that we purchased here at the Chilltech shop, and we received two items. One of which me, Javon, and Shay, who's not really a Chilltech member but kind of is. It's Javon's brother.
I'm really not a member.
But he kind of is.
He's
in
really
a way.
moral support. He watches our videos and wouldn't give it a thumbs up.
He's kind of like our personal troll. So,
Yes.
we actually got we got the opportunity to play with the ViewMaster VR Google Cardboard 2.0. What we did with it, I cannot display because this is a family show. But we did have fun with it. All right, I found it to be pretty cool. I actually almost stole Javon's when I left the house that night.
No,
It was
honestly,
fun,
we
right?
had a lot of fun with that. Believe it or not, it was actually a lot of fun for $16. Wow, that was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But
Javon
we're
passed out from excitement. This is a true story. Javon literally
in all
passed out.
seriousness, I can't remember what happened in terms of what made me laugh so hard, but I legit passed out. I was out for like a second. I woke back up and I was like, "What just happened?" Like, it was craziness. I don't know. Anyway,
Stay away from
yes, we got
APKs,
that.
kids.
Yes, right. But check, yeah. So from all, if it's not from the store, don't download it. Okay.
Don't get it.
Now, what I do want to say is that check out for our full review of that device coming soon. We actually do want to give you this. This is part of our new segment of VR. So we'll probably do this before we do the Vive. Kind of give you guys a good idea of what virtual reality is. And another piece of tech that actually I got was a new backpack. Now, usually, if you guys see me, I'm usually carrying like something like a leather, work strap, the bag, or have some like really mini tech bag. I remember scanning at the school, Mike, back in the day, like a little tech bag.
Yep.
I'm traveling soon. Chilltech's gonna be traveling a lot more soon, doing stuff. So I think it was a good idea to invest in a tech backpack that's a little bit more functional over fashionable. So, but this one seems to have the best of both. It's the Hanes Eagle 15-inch slim laptop/tablet backpack. It's essentially a tech backpack with a lot of different compartments. It's water resistant, and I'm not sure if I'll do a review on the backpack, but I might do a what's in my backpack video, so you guys can kind of know the type of tech things that we do, and when we go on events and trips, what we actually carry. So, that'd be kind of cool.
All right, and before we move on to Christian and Greg on anything that they have bought, I do want to bring up that the tech backpack reminded me of a story that we didn't go over tonight. So just a quick snippet of the MSI's backpack PC, which is basically mobile virtual reality. So you actually have a virtual reality harness on your back. It'll actually be able to run virtual reality, but it's a PC on your back. Me personally, I find this to be dangerous, but awesome at the same time. Couldn't imagine how they find a way to cool that thing. I mean, with constant body heat and then with the heat coming from the computer, I can't wait till one of these catches fire like those stupid hoverboards. But it does seem cool, and it's a way for you to stay less tangled when you're playing virtual reality games. And I think we might try to invest in one of these down the road. Don't look for this anytime soon. But
MSI, give us a laptop, please. MSI, just give us one to review.
Just give us the backpack. If you want to give us anything, give us the backpack PC. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys, I put it in the Google Spaces, so if you guys want to check it out. If you want, we can even share it in the description if you guys are interested. And what we should do is share all the stories that we went over tonight. We should share them in the description at a later time. That way you guys can look at the stories yourself. And that's all I wanted to go over. That's something I want. Not that we have, but it's something I wanted. Christian, Greg, anything you guys bought recently?
Recently, I upgraded my graphics card to the GTX 970. It's been a massive improvement over my previous GPU, which was about 5 years old. So specs aside, big difference. I'm enjoying it so far.
Awesome.
Nice. I'll join you soon. Yeah, well, basically, the only thing I purchased recently was the webcam I'm on right now. This Logitech. It's a C920. It's so good at wide angle that I had to push it almost into my face. Because before it was just getting everything, which is great if you have like a meeting or like a Skype with your family. But for this purpose, I had to bring it up a little bit closer, so I, a little bit tighter of a shot. And then my CAD U37 microphone, so that's how you hear me loud and clear, crispy.
Loud and clear.
So that's what's up. That's
works
the gear
well.
I'm working with. Yeah, isn't it great?
Yeah. I have one too.
I don't.
Greg. You always gotta be the odd man out, Greg.
Hey,
Always gotta be the odd man.
Look, he's yeah.
See,
Javon, you're
wait till I
telling me
get
with
me
the sound effects got to get a little bit better.
I'm so off.
Too slow.
All right. It seems like everybody has something new. They have stuff that they want to buy, as we always do here, and that is fun. Now, moving on to the Twitting by You segment. I'm not sure we got any tweets this week. I haven't really checked the Twitter, so I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been dropping the ball on that.
And I've realized
that responsibility is about to fall on Christian because he's doing so well with our Facebook that we're now promoting him to Facebook and Twitter. He is now the social media guru of Chill
Social
Tech.
media manager. Sure.
He's been promoted. This does not come with any better pay. This does not come with better benefits.
it's a lateral movement.
Medical insurance. So,
It's lateral and more work, right?
exactly. That's unfortunately yes. But yeah, we appreciate what you did. I'm not sure we actually made a formal congratulations or thank you, not congratulations, but thank you for handling the Facebook page and the social media aspect. You've been doing great. We've been seeing you've been seeing your work, so thank you very much, Greg. I don't know where we gotta get for you yet, but you did come up with a crazy story of the week, like you promised, and this story was funny. We didn't go over it tonight. Man, we are running out of time to discuss. We really ran over this week.
Yeah.
But the story was, check it out at your own expense. The guy who took Super Smash Bros. Melee, the original GameCube game, he took it to prom. That was his prom date. He did a whole interview on it. That was the funniest interview I've ever seen in my life. He was so serious. He danced with it. Check that. just Google search, kid takes Super Smash Bros. Melee to prom, and just enjoy the laugh. And now we're just going to close out. We got to say goodnight because we all have work in the morning. And just want to let you know some quick places you can find us. Of course, you can always find us here where you're currently watching us now on the YouTubes. You can also find us on Twitter, and thanks to Christian, you can also find us on the Facebook. You can also find us on Google+. And coming soon, the Chill Tech Studio website, right?
Coming very soon. Very soon.
Coming soon, spelled with a C-U-M-M.
Oh my goodness gracious, this guy.
As the kids watch, they're like, what? I don't get it. What does that mean? We'll learn one day.
Oh my god! What in the world?
So we'll edit this out in post.
Right?
I'm keeping it in. We're keeping this in.
This is
Chill
not
Tech
a family
Dark,
podcast. I want to say,
Chill Tech After Dark.
right?
Oh,
Chill Tech After Dark. After 10 p.m., I start getting a little crazy. Okay. Everybody want to say their goodbyes? Wave goodbye.
Yeah. I do want to say, don't forget, guys. If you guys want to be a part of the show, if you miss the live feed, or if you check us out in the audio version, but definitely make sure we hear your questions and your comments. So we tweeted us. Make sure to hashtag the Real CTS Podcast. Correct. Remember,
Mike is a sex offender.
Right. Hashtag
funny.
the Real CTS Podcast. It's important that you do that. That way we can keep track of all of your comments, know when it's for, know which episode that it relates to, and that way we can go ahead, we can mention you. And our goal is to make sure we answer every single Twitter feed that goes to that. And same thing on Facebook. Hashtag the Real CTS Podcast. And we can locate your comments, and you're good to go.
Cool beans. Christian?
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, just come find me in Hearthstone. Still at it. Making the climb. Quicksilver, $12.99. We gonna do it. We gonna do it. Look, legend before December.
Okay, that's what's up.
Craig?
Look, I'm basically everywhere. Final Fantasy 14, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, whatever you're playing. If it's online, look for Insuno. It's gonna be me. ENSUNO.
All right. And I am Mike Atch. You can always find me here at Chiltech. I'm stuck in the basement. Please come save me.
You'll never
And
find
I
your
guess
body.
we guys we will see you next week. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for all your support, and can't wait to do the next podcast. Oh, speaking of which, we actually are doing a stream this Saturday, and Friday, and
Yes.
Thursday.
Oh yeah,
We'll be
yeah.
streaming
So,
a lot more.
last minute adjustment to this. We are actually having a more structured streaming time. So,
Yeah.
literally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, there will be a stream. Check us out on we gotta mention, but Twitter. Sorry, not Twitter. Twitch.com/Chotech Studio. We are live on Twitch. Not all of our videos will be on YouTube, but most of them are going to Twitch now. So please find us on Twitch, follow, sub. Yeah.
All right.
It's in the
So it's a mouthful. Oh, now you're getting good with the sound effects. All right, good night, guys. I'm tired. Get out of
All
here.
right.
Provided broadcast. I'm sleepy.
Yep, that's good. Time to go.
Don't
Bye,
hit the
guys.
doorbell. I don't want people to come in.
All right, we'll see y'all.
All right.